Hi, I'm Courtney, and I help organizations grow through customer education. Something that I've been seeing recently and thinking about is the different challenges that customer education leaders, teams, and programs are really facing, particularly in our world of AI and speed and efficiency and more content. And I keep trying to rack my brain of like, what's the problem that we're facing? If we had to label it, if we had to form it as a question, what is it that we are experiencing right now? Because everybody knows for the most part that customer education can help us scale and grow and move our organizations forward and help our customers along the way, which drives revenue and acquisition and all the things that we need in our organizations. And so what I keep coming back to is we don't actually have a customer education problem. We have a positioning problem. And what I mean by that is that every year you see it during annual planning, companies, they're talking about where customer education should live inside the organization. Because it's pretty typical about every 12 to 18 months, customer education is picked up and moved to another place in the organization to solve a new problem. Maybe the leader they had got a new job, or there's something that the organization thinks that they're going to go and solve. But they're not actually talking about it or thinking about it. They just sort of assume that it'll work out. And the problem with that is customer education doesn't end up with a really clear mandate and can sort of get lost in between the different elements of an organization. It's what I mean. Marketing, super clear mandate. Customer success, yep, you know what they do. Product, of course. But customer education, it can live anywhere and often does. It can do anything, and that flexibility becomes its biggest liability. I talk to customer education leaders every single week, and I hear the same things. I have to prove my value to my organization. We're stuck in this echo chamber with enablement and L&D. We show time to value, but leadership doesn't see the impact. And the problem isn't the work. The work is incredible. I believe that most customer education teams and programs are delivering immense value. But it's the organization that never has actually defined what customer education provides or what they want them to provide. And the answer is often not seen, which is value continuity, the bridge between initial activation and ongoing expansion. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I believe that the future of customer education positioning can be mapped to a 2x2. Because let's be clear, I believe that everything in the world, in your personal and professional life, can be mapped to a 2x2. And it starts to chart where customer education programs live today and where they need to go to unlock real strategic value. Now, before I show you the 2x2, I want to add the disclaimer, which is there's no right quadrant. Like, that's a common question. Well, where should I be? Customer education can and should belong in all of the quadrants that we're going to look at. But if you want the most revenue impact, the most funding for your team, the ability to truly optimize for value continuity, there's only one place that gets you there. And let's take a look at where that is. So in this case, this 2x2 maps the different places in which customer education can live based off of what we often ask it to solve for. So in an organization, we have growth plays and efficiency plays that are often broken down by, are they segment specific, or are they going to be cross-functional and support multiple areas of the business? And this is where customer education meets a couple of different roadblocks. So in the bottom left, this quadrant is what I call the scaled CS Band-Aid. It's not a bad place for CE to be, and it's often where organizations do place it. But it gets funded as a cost center. It's measured by things like support deflection and maybe CSM capacity, and it serves only the scaled or tech tuck functions. Or even worse, it serves everyone, but it's only measured by this small part of the business that it is supporting. And in this quadrant, education, becomes a tactic, not a strategy. That's a dangerous place for it to be because you are leaving revenue on the table and your customers aren't getting the most amount of value for your education program. Now, similarly, in the efficiency bucket, customer education ends up in this shared services limbo. And what I mean by that is customer education teams are often very, very busy in this segment, but they're not strategic. Multiple different teams are using customer education, but it still gets measured on efficiency. Becomes an order taker responsibility to requests with no strategic direction. So you have a lot of activity in this bucket, but very unclear business value. And this is where you have all the different programs coming together. Customer education is going to do this, is going to do that. Oh, wait, it's also going to do this. And you get that tug of war of what does it really do? And oftentimes, this is where your metrics suffer the most. It's cross functional, a lot of people rely on it, but it itself doesn't have a solid direction, and it gets blamed for that often. And then when we jump to the other side of the quadrant, we're still segment specific, but we're really focused on growth now, is you have that premium area. This is great. It's high touch education. We love it. Strategic accounts, very clear revenue impact in this top tier, but it doesn't scale. So it works for one segment, but you leave money on the table and everywhere else. This is a great place to get started. And you're going to maybe see that outline here. Left-hand side, great. Start with a segment. But when we want to start to scale, we want to end up in the top right. Customer education is an incredible growth lever for your business, and it needs to be very cross-functional. This is where it gets funded as a strategic capability. It's measured by value continuity, not just first time to value, portal initial value, etc. It derives NRR, feature adoption, expansion, and it's often getting really close to the people in the organization that are responsible for revenue, the revenue officer, the customer officer, even the people officer. This is where you need cross-functional scope in the leader that you're working with. And it's only from here that you can really optimize for that value continuity. And this is where customer education should live and where we want it to get to in our organizations. Now, this is what I call my framework for customer education positioning. I really hope it helps you rethink that conversation internally. And one of the things that I want to push you to is, has your organization ever actually talked about where customer education should sit and why? Not because this leader owns it and they're moving to this part of the business, or, oh, we're trying something new, let's just shove the customer education team at it. Have you sat down and done this mapping? What are the segments we want it to support? Do we want it to be a growth engine, or is it just an efficiency engine? There is no right answer depending on what your business goals are. But if you're not operating from a place where you've strategically placed customer education somewhere, you're not getting the most amount of value for it. Again, I'm Courtney, and I help organizations scale and grow through customer education.